make profit. In the US, bank choose lending for poor people instead of traditional customer. They have less chance to pay them back. Then bank invented a new way to back it up loans into security which can trade it in the other bank. When loans taken out in bank system, they could not pull them to who. And they didn't know about the risks that they hear. Bank at that time is at the time of deflation, so the price of commodity is cheap. People don't worry enough. People don't worry about their job, so they consume more. When inflation happens, people don't have money to pay back their loan. So banks will hold much security were deep in trouble. Some banks in US, like Lehman Brothers or Big Bank in UK, instead of Northern Rock, were expanding the business rapidly, so their business are in trouble and they are in debt. Now we will give an overview about the Northern Rock crisis and its nature.
Okay, thank you for introducing me. So I will give you some the natural crisis at the Northern Rock. When the Northern Rock become to default, they are the most important thing that's based on the business council of Northern Rock. So what is the business council? Northern Rock follows the high risk. They invest into the high risk assets, and so this is the behavior in the financial. They want to invest more into the risky assets. So they invest in the risky assets, and they hold the illiquid assets in their balance sheet. So let me give you a balance sheet of the Northern Rock before the default. After 2008, here's the balance sheet of the Northern Rock. The most in the asset side, they hold the most for account for 77% of the residential mortgage. It is a risky asset and the long-term loan. Why they just hold 30% of liquid assets. It's uncommon for the balances. Okay, next is we will teach you about the neoclassical.
So now I will tell you about the neoclassical economics. Neoclassical economics is an approach of economics that relates to the demand and supply to an individual to maximize the profit and utilities. Neoclassical economics also use some mathematical equation so for some various aspects of economy. In the neoclassical economy, buyer attempt to maximize the profit from getting the good, and they do this by including the purchase of good for what they gain from an exchange, just balance the opportunity they have to give up to obtain it. For individual, they provide labor for the company, and they wish the company to employ them. Then by balancing the gain from offering the marginal units, they service with the chain of labor itself. So this results in a theory of demand for good and supply of productive factor. On the other side, the producer attempt to produce the units of goods so that the cost of producing increase on the marginal units. He just balanced by the revenues it generates. In this way, they can maximize the profits. The firm also hire employees to the point that the cost of the additional hire is just balanced by the value of output that the additional employee would produce. So next, let me tell you the balances of traditional bank.
Thank you, Linh. Now I will give you the balance sheet of the traditional bank. As we can see that in the traditional bank, the balance sheet in traditional bank in 19th and 20th century, there were assets, warm cash. It is including the deposit at the central bank, and it is also with the liquid asset, advance and investment. And this is mainly the government securities, and this will be balanced by the liability, and this is mostly entirely a deposit and a small amount of net worth, and a fair proportion of the assets were liquid. Either the assets of cash or short-term will highly marketable assets, and therefore it was traditional to make a self-liquidating loan, such as, like, for example, like bridging loan between the producer or wholesale purchase and final sale. This loan had a short term to maturity, so bank could continually reassess their loan book or the performance of borrowers and the balance between the liquid loan and investment. Besides that, besides the safeguard, there was a mismatch between the assets and liability. It can easily understand that it can lending long and borrowing short, or it can technically call aside cash and short-term liquid asset is known as reserve to against the liquidity risk. And it is this purpose was subverted when holdings was made when holding was made a legal or conventional requirement, and left to their own device, bank squeeze their liability more and more, so that until they became very thin indeed. Liquid assets are not very profitable, so it is
very incentive to do this, but confident in the lender of the last resort and the development of the interbank lending, would have the contributed significantly to this trend. Next, Linh will give you next Bách will give you the summaries of the building society.
Hi. Now I will tell you about the building society evolution. Northern Rock was originally a building society, but it converted to bank in 1997. Northern Rock shares its history with the building society movement. Building society is a type of financial institution that provides banking and other financial services for its members. Specifically, it offers mortgage. The institution fulfills a role once forbidden to banks on the grounds that mortgage lending in Thai to history due to the mismatch. To match the long-term mortgage loan commitment, the shareholders in building society were expected to build up their participants before taking out loan with the same society. Moreover, the building society held a reserves in the form of bank deposits. In the late 1960s, the bank complained that they were subject to compulsory liquid assets ratio, while building society were exempt. The compulsory this ratio were lower and extend equally to the building society and commercial banks in competition and control, a greater control in 1971. Banks and building societies were now on an equal footing, which perhaps the bank led to regret. Firstly, building society shares were imperfect substitute for bank deposits. They were not designed to be a part of payment mechanism. As holders tried to use them for this purpose, they found them a work compared with bank deposits. Secondly, building society were not banks and so could not grant overdraft facility. For this reason, there were no checks and cash points were not permitted. These inconveniences were offset by interest. The restrictions on building society set were gradually relaxed, and with each relaxation, the banks faced severe competition, while specific feature of stable saving with the building society was eroded. And now I will introduce about bank response.
So I want to talk about the bank response after Northern Rock case. As we all know, a long line of panic Northern Rock customers willing to withdraw cash in September 2007 became one of the most memorable images of the financial crisis in the UK. After the Northern Rock case happened, a stream of regulation and changes aimed at preventing a repeat of the financial crisis has been implemented and led to a clampdown on many banks and banking practices. Part of the reason that depositors feel around the block to withdraw the cash from Northern Rock was that in 2007, the UK Financial Services Compensation Scheme only protected up to £31,700 if an institution collapsed. However, after the run, the government increased the level of protection to £35,000. But the amount was still a little bit little, as Peter Sleep, the fund manager at Seven Investment Management, said. The run on Northern Rock demonstrated that there was no real safety net, and also said that as soon as the Bank of England stepped up in 2007 and said the Bank of England would back depositors, the bills then after that disappeared. In October 2008, the government was forced to inject around £37 billion into RBS, Alloys, and HBOS to short their balance sheets and prevent a systemic failure to the banking system. Since then, we can see that the limit has been increased a few times, and now 2017, it sits at £85,000. After that, also banks were forced to increase their capital buffers following the financial crisis after mounting credit losses eroded their reserves. The UK largest four banks, which are HSBC, Alloys, RBS, and Barclays, they launched rights issues in 2008-2009 to boost their capital base. UK banks also has raised more than £130 billion in additional capital since 2007. As a result, their balance sheets have strengthened with the average quarter-one ratio, which is a measure of capital to risk-weighted assets, increasing 3 times to 14.3% over the period. Also, furthermore, securitizing is one of the solutions for banks to solve the illiquid assets that Northern Rock left behind. So as a result of Basel III coming into effect, securitization was undertaken not just a small part of bank operations when banks needed liquidity, but on such a scale as to change the whole way banks operate. So the next part is Linh to talk about mutualization.
Hi, now I'm going to talk about the demutualization. Demutualization is a process through which member of the company become shareholder owner. This is the step. The steps toward the initial public offering of the company. When the bank become to get launching, the building society make their move to turn their institution into public limited company and become bank, but have difference compared to the old bank. Their loan book consists of almost entirely of mortgage, once forbidden territory for banks. By the time demutualization, their deposits have become indistinguishable from bank deposits. It leads to the occur two features that we did not figure by our building society is securitization and short mortgage contracts. Securitization was undertaken not just a small part of bank operation when bank need liquidity, but on such a other scale as to change the whole way bank operate. And the small mortgage contract is a device to attract borrower. At the time when variable rate mortgage was the norm, by offering the very good term on the fixed rate mortgage with a limited time to run. At the end of this period, the mortgage would have to be refinanced. Repackaging of assets for resales make the good and less good mix together. Therefore, no one can figure the natural collateral. And rating agencies certainly did no detailed exploration to exploration of that kind. Next, Khải will tell the solvencies.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I will give you some overview about solvency. So as you know, economists define that solvency happens when the assets excess the amount of liabilities. And there's at least two interrelated ambiguities, which are the level of time given to realize the assets and the appropriate asset valuation. Besides, a firm forced to sell quickly might be insolvent when it would be solvent in another time. The valuation problem may be dealt with according to some appropriate accounting rules. And these rules make the assumption about the realization of assets given underlying questions such as if the assets include receivables such as outstanding bank loans or mortgage, are the borrowers likely to repay, or the question like when the loans have to be refinanced. So, in the case of Northern Rock, solvencies happen when Northern Rock tried to push the expansion and the market dominance. So as a result, 125% mortgage of loans are made. This led to the consequences in quality of the lending. And sometimes good risk assessment on both sides of the balances leads to the banks being both solvent and liquid, despite the maturity mismatch. The capital adequacies were used to ensure solvency and whip out the bad debts. So that's it. Let me summarize some key findings in our presentation. So that's it. Is all of our presentation. All the key findings are listed on the slide. So ask us if you want to know more about our presentation. Thank you for listening.
I don't understand what you mean about the price is cheap at the beginning of the slide. Yeah, at the beginning also that you said that the price is cheap. Price of what?
People will feel safe and they will sit home. And when inflation happens, they cannot pay back to the bank.
Okay. And also that organized, also that Hưng, please. Also that you said that unbalance for the balances, and also that I don't understand the unbalance. Why? Because also that I only say I have seen that also that the liquid asset, and also that you said that unbalance on the balances.
unbalanced means if you look at the balance sheet of Northern Rock, the retail deposits, that is a short-term deposits when people deposit in the money in the Northern Rock, they they deposit in a short-term maturity, but in the liquid assets, if every people want to withdraw their money in the Northern Rock, the liquid asset cannot cover the retail deposits. I mean, the probability of that.
What do you think that we said? We said that also that with these balances and also that is the unbalance. Do you think so? Good. Long time no see. What do you think?
I mean, they hold a large, up to 77% of their assets in the
That's why also that I asked to you why, because also that we can't say unbalanced, right? Because if you look at the total balance, of course,
I mean,
the liquidity also that is the problematic, and also that you can conclude it, but you can't say that the unbalanced, the balance is.
He means that is the unbalance between the illiquid asset and liquid assets.
Yeah, proportions, right?
Yes.
Right? And also that we can say that the unbalanced balance. Right? And also that the narrow classic, nice place. And also that some point I don't understand also that why the author take the neoclassical economics in this paper to explain the crisis of the Northern Rock. In the paper also that, yeah, I agree with you, but the question is related to the reason. Why do the authors, or why does the author, take the theory, the neoclassical economics, to explain whether the Northern Rock is in crisis or not? Why? Also that overview satisfy that only one group present and overview also that we need to read. And maybe we discuss about the assignment or the final project. And please take a look at this case also that, and you can based on it, and also that maybe you can take some points in your assignment. The neoclassical economics also that you only introduce, and I don't understand what does it mean in the paper. Why? Okay. Think about it.
So, you want to explain further?
Yeah, related to the what is the bank's response related to the knock and rub? There is a knock and rub.
So,
I mean that what is the relationship between the banks and the knock and rub?
Not wrong. It's one of the biggest bank. And so as they'll collapse, it happens at the bank runs in the UK that may withdraw the cash that may actually affect the other big banks in the UK and can may cause the whole system collapse. So because of that, then many banks, as I said, that the protected, the amount of protection for depositor was too low. That depositors they scared to lose their money. But after that, then the Bank of England raised the amount of protection. So then the bank run doesn't appear anymore.
The protection, what do you mean the protection?
The money, yeah, the UK Financial Services compensation that gives to depositor that if a bank collapse or a bank fails. And also,
okay, go to the next point. Also, that the demutualizations. Yes. Also, that okay, it's a process, and also what the difference between the demutualizations and the securitization? You mean that the process through which is the member of the company becomes shareholders owned, and the securitizations are also that in Vietnam also that we can call the privatizations. Have you heard it? The privatizations. Have you heard it? Okay, and also that what the difference between the demutualizations and the securitizations? What? You please?
I think securitization is a kind of financial instrument that you convert the loan to security, and demutualization means
Talking about the privatization, what the difference between the demutualizations and privatizations? You know, the privatizations. Also, that please note the securitizations in the lecture 14. I explained to you that the securitizations also that the investor transfer the illiquid assets into the liquid assets. Also that you have to keep in mind one thing, and the privatization means that the share companies, the sellers owned companies also that will be privatized, and also it means that bring market, and also that the main investor, individuals, they buy and sell in market. Okay? And now the solvency. Why do we call the solvency when the value of assets exists? Is there this. The first statement. The solvency happens.
You know, when banks should lose assets or liabilities,
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Does it make more
I think that
liabilities?
is solvency.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
No, solvency. So that is not the solvency. Why? Because also that the value of assets that the firm has it on hand to meet its obligations, and so that is called the solvency. The solvency also that they can pay, they can meet its obligation. Wow. Also, thank you very much, and stop it.